Good morning, my Facebook friends and family, my YouTube friends, and all of you out there. This is Char coming to you. Basically, Char from CSNOTARY coming to you, and I'm coming to you with some great information. So I know, a lot of you are at work or getting ready for work now. For those of you that have to be there a little bit later than the norm. But I wanted to go ahead and make this video before I got started. Today I am working from home, so I'm in my office. I have several cases that I'll be taking care of today. I'm going to give you a little tidbit for what it is that I do. Back in 2011, 2012, excuse me, 2012, I started looking into getting into becoming a notary and things like that. I realized I like to read only stuff that is going to be beneficial to me in the long run. I'm not going to sit there and just read a book just to read a book. But if it is some type of legal information, or rather it's basically medical information or something like that, it'll get my interest. So basically what I wanted to come at you today and talk about is when you receive a summons and complaint. What that means, what you need to do if you do receive one of these in the mail, or you're served, or whatever. So let's get started. I'm gonna get morning coffee. So I'm gonna get started here. So say you have a creditor. Okay, and basically the creditor has sent you to collections. Okay, so now what that means is they've sent you to a third party, and I want you to really understand that. Okay, a third party. Okay, and usually these are basically they'll go under law firms and things like that, but basically they are debt collectors. That's what they are. But what people don't know is how they obtained your debt. Okay. Usually, if it's going to a debt collector, excuse me, getting sniffles, excuse me. Usually, if it's going to a debt collector, this means that the credit card, we're going to use a credit card for instance, has been charged off. Okay. So basically your credit card is already insured anyway. So when you stop paying and the original creditor just gets fed up and is like unable to collect, so they're just done with you. Okay, that is how you end up with the collection agency, meaning they have done all that they could do to collect this debt and they could not collect it. So the collection agency, like I said, gets a hold of it. Now, what people don't know is basically how in detail they get a hold of it. Okay, now, they may go, okay, say it's 100 collection agencies in one building, okay? And your debt is part of some other debts, okay? Some other that belong to other people. Okay, so they buy up these debts. Okay, so say if your debt, I have one here on my desk right now. I'm going to handle. Excuse me. I'm going to go into that. I have a client here. Now he had a credit card. Okay, and he unfortunately became ill, and he was unable to uphold his obligation to that credit card. So long and behold, they did charge it off. And what the charge off means is they, like I said, they have had it. They can't collect it. They're not going to even bother collecting it anymore because it's insured. Okay, so they've already been paid. So technically, it's already paid off. And that's, if you notice, when it comes up on your credit report for those that have had charge offs, it's going to say a zero balance is due. Okay, that's because it's basically already been paid. Okay, so the debt collector comes along. And remember, I was just talking a few minutes ago about that pool of debt collectors all in one or whatever. And they basically, it's like, I'm going to call it an auction. They auction off your debt, okay, with other individuals' debts, okay? And so they're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to buy this debt, okay? Now, let's say the debt, like I have the one client here, his debt It's only $718, but to a lot of people, hey, that's a lot of money or whatever. So he's like, okay. He calls me up. He's like, what do I do? They just served me with this, and everything. And the thing about it is, you get served, and you get all up into a tizzy and a friend or whatever because you have been served with all of these papers. And I'm not going to turn them around, but this here is what you've been served with. Okay, briefly. Okay, you've been served with all this. I don't want to turn them around because they have client information on them, and I have to keep that confidential. So when you get all in a tizzy, then you call me. Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? So what I'm going to do as far as your debt goes, and you know what? I understand some people just don't want to do this. Okay, so that's what they pay me to do. But at the same token, you can do this yourself. So this is how I respond. Let me go back a little bit. When I say they buy your debt, they may, this $718 debt or whatever, they may have spent, $25 for the debt, okay? And what they're going to do to you is they're going to try to collect $718. So they're making a boku amount. So what happens when you agree to them? You have talked to them. You have basically got on the phone with them. You have basically agreed to this debt and everything. Now, when you call me, I'll go ahead, let you go ahead and state, your name and stuff. That's fine. You can state your name and you can actually admit that you got this, okay? But you never ever admit to the debt. The thing that you're going to ask them is, what business do I have with, let's say, ABC collection agency? What business, what documentation shows a signed contract between you and I? I'm not saying that I don't know this debt. Maybe I do. I don't know. But I don't know it to you. So what gives you the right to think, okay, well, hey, I have to pay you some money? Usually 9 times out of 10 when that happens, I had one, he got so angry with me, he ended up hanging up on the phone, and I'm like, hold on. I'm like, Brian, now this was for one of my clients. I'm like, well, Brian. I'm like, I thought we were friends. Well, why are you treating me this way? He became belligerent and started screaming or whatever because he knew what I was saying was true. But you never ever admit to it. You never ever admit to that is your debt, because the minute that you do, they're going to come after you. So now we're going to move on a little bit further. How to respond? Okay. So now you're being sued. You've received this summons and complaint. Okay. You have, with Michigan, they say 21 to 28 days, depending upon how you were served. And that's another video. We'll go into that. Okay, so basically you have 21 days to respond. Your silence, if you don't do anything about it, your silence is considered your answer. Okay, now let me break this down for you a little bit. When you don't respond, okay, and you totally ignore everything, you're giving them the right to go and say, basically, you defaulted. And if you default, 9 times out of 10, they're going to rule in the plaintiff's favor, which means they can start garnishing your wages, all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, so then what I notice a lot of my clients will do after they have totally ignored the summons and complaint, they come to me and they're crying. I had one just last week. Oh, sure, I don't know what to do. They didn't have any encouragement. But my thing is this. You should have been letting me know this when you got the paper. That way, hey, we could have went on and handled this. Okay, so now, we got this paper, and you give me a call, or you do this yourself. What you do is you're going to ask for verification and validation of the debt. These two things mean two different things, okay? You're requesting the collection agency to verify the debt, okay? They need to verify that this is your debt, okay? They need to validate that this is your debt. Well, good thing for you, but if you don't know, 9 times out of 10, they can't do this. So, the 700, remember that little $718 debt I was talking about, this one client? So, this is what I sent to them. And I'm just going to say to whom it concerns, because I don't want to put any information out there. It says, this letter is being sent to you in response to a listing on my credit report. This is not a refusal to pay, but a notice and request for validation and verification. Okay? Under the Fair Department Collections Practices, the FDCPA, okay? That's how we're just going to use that shortly. I have the right to request validation of the debt you say I owe. Be advised that I am not requesting a verification. I am requesting a validation. Okay, so now, with this particular one, because I have 3 of them that I have already typed up, but with this particular one, we are, going to request validation or whatever, and we're also going to request verification. Okay, I am requesting a validation that is competent evidence that I have some contractual obligation to pay you. Okay? Please provide at least the following information within 30 days from the date of the receipt of the request for this validation. Now, I'm going to go into the questions that's going to be asked on this validation. So, they have 30 days to respond. Okay, this is what they're going to do, and this is hilarious. They're going to go and print off some stuff from the computer. They're going to print off bills or, things that you had with this prior credit card company. That's what they're going to do. So basically, they don't have what you need. Okay, so this is what I requested. It says, please provide at least the following information within 30 days of the date of the receipt of this request for validation. Name and address of alleged creditor. Name on file of alleged debtor. Alleged account. Address on file for alleged debtor. Amount of alleged debt. Date that this alleged debt became payable. Date of original charge-off or delinquency. Was this debt assigned to a debt collector or purchased? 9 times out of 10 it was purchased. Amount paid if the debt was purchased. Agreement that bears the signature of the alleged debtor wherein he or she agreed to pay the creditor. If your office fails to respond to this validation request within 30 days from the date of your receipt, all references to this account must be deleted and completely removed from my credit file, and a copy of such request shall be sent to me immediately. Then you're going to just say sincerely, don't sign your signature. Do not signaturize this, okay? Because just as they printed those things off of the offline with your bills and stuff like that or whatever, they can do some illegal stuff or whatever, because remember, they're trying to get your money. They're not your friend. You just put your name at the bottom, print it, and you send it off. Now, when you send it off, now with this particular one, the thing is, we had to file an answer with the court because the individual did not just get a collections letter, a bill or whatever. This collections company actually is suing him. So with this, it was a little bit more in detail, and I'll get into that in a minute. So Basically, like I said, you do not signature-wise anything. You just print your name at the bottom. How you deliver this. Now, when I said that he is involved in a court case, we're going to go back a little bit. The answer. So, you receive all these court documents. This is the summons. You got all of this stuff going on or whatever. What do you do? Okay. So, you have 21 days, remember I was saying, to file an answer with the court. Okay, now we're backtracking. Okay. For each statement that was made in this summons and complaint, you have to respond to. And it's a basic answer, civil answer form. Okay? Now, you have one or two options. You can either answer the complaint or you can file a motion. A motion to dismiss. It could be, you could be fighting the way it was served, or, the stuff that was in here, you dismiss. That way, if you get a motion to dismiss, you never have to go to court anyways. But still, the lawyer may go ahead and pursue suit, So you want to just go ahead and get this over with. That's fine. We'll go to court. No big deal. I'm going to win anyways. So you go ahead and you file this answer. Okay. So remember I said, okay, so let's say the statement goes all the way. Now with this particular statement that I answered here, it had a total of 7 statements. Okay, 7 statements. And so we're going to go back or whatever. What they're trying to do is get you to answer these to benefit them. Remember, they are the debt collector. They are not your friend, okay? You do not have an obligation to them to answer anything. You do not have an obligation to give them any type of information. They are the debt collector. They are working against you. Their main objective is to get your money and get you to agree to something, that they can use against you in the court of law. So, you have to go when you file your answer, and you can get your answer complete. You can just type in and print one off, get your answer complete, or you can go up to the courthouse and get get an answer for the civil suit. And they're very nice. They'll usually just go ahead and just give you the form that you need to fill out. I would suggest do not fill it out just there. Take it home, read. So for every statement that they made, you need to respond. And a lot of the response are going to be, I have no accounts with ABC credit collections agency. I have no accounts with, and that's so a lot. So you just go down the line. You fill it out. You make sure that the court, in this case, gets a copy of it. If it's no summons and complaint right now, all you're doing is sending it back to the collections agency. Now, how do you send it back? You send it back by certified mail. Okay, so it's going to cost you a couple bucks to send it back by certified mail, and you get a signature card, the little green card or whatever, to know, when it was delivered and who, signed for it. That is your proof, and we're going to move on with that as well. Okay, so you filed your answer, so you have stopped basically, the 21 days where they can go back and say that you defaulted. So now you get this court date. Okay. Usually the court date, they'll stretch it out for maybe a couple months or whatever. Sometimes a little bit sooner, but they want everyone to get their paperwork together and all of that stuff. So with this particular case, it won't be heard until May, but we're going to stop it before it even can be heard. It's not going to court. So, and that's after I get done doing what I have to do today. So, now remember, what you do is you also attach a copy of that validation letter to your answer. So the court has a copy, you have a copy. As a matter of fact, the court has 2 copies. And go prepared. Have the right amount of copies. Make sure you get it stamped. Okay, stamped showing that you basically went and filed this with the court. You get it stamped or whatever, so that they can't say, well, it was never filed or whatever, you make sure you give it to that clerk to get it stamped. That means your copy, their copies, and everything. And the clerk likes you to have all that stuff all copied. So what I do is I make all the copies that are necessary. I attach all the documents, I stable them together, and I may have like 4 copies, and I'm going in and I'm going to file this. And they usually, when you have it all together, they don't have to go and fuss and, fumble. And that's where I come into the picture, because I know what to file and how to file it. A lot of people don't know how to do that or whatever, but that's what I do. That's what I get paid to do. So, long and behold, I'll go and file these documents, get them stamped or whatever. So, now, and I've already sent off the, now I'm sending off, the mail, so that they can, the certified mail and everything, and with return request. Okay, so now, they're not going to wait the whole 30 days. What they ended up doing with my client is they sent him a integratories. Okay, meaning they had the audacity. So now you got another stack of papers. Oh my gosh. And you'll notice that it says under oath, and then under oath is really in bold print. So I'm going to try to flip this so that you can see what it looks like. See? Okay. And so they got all that, and they want you to under oath. Okay, and you notice they have the judge's name at the top of it and all of this. First of all, this did not come from the courts. It didn't come from the courts. It's nothing on here. And at the bottom of it, they have to put by law, this communication is from a debt collector. They have to. Okay. So, long and behold, okay, you're all bent out of shape. They done sent you this thing, and it says, and you must submit the following integratories. I can never get this interrogatories. Excuse me. I can never. You get what I'm saying. Interrogatories to be answered by the defendant, which is you or whatever, but you are a man, or, but that's another video. We're not going to even go there. I'm not going to even touch those waters right now, but that's another video. We'll do that another day. So, you are to respond within 28 days or whatever. Okay. And then they have the audacity as Exhibit A. They sent this man a copy of all of the credit card statements that he ever received. Anybody can get these. So what these lawyers do is they bombard you with paperwork. Bombard you. These lawyers / credit debt collectors, they bombard you with paperwork to put the fear of God in you. They want to scare you. And so what you do is you go ahead and you respond. Now, this is what really gets me. Okay. Did defendant ever have a banking or credit relationship with, I'm not going to say the company. The minute you answer this, you have agreed. The minute you answer this one question, you have agreed. Then, okay, we're going to go to the fourth. If you answer to number 3, above was the affirmative, please provide the following information for each count. So now they want you to provide all the information. So you're just going to sit there because they think you're stupid, and you're going to answer all of those questions, and you're supposed to mail it back within 28 days. No, we're not going to do that. And one thing I do hate more than anything, okay, well, 2 things that really annoy me. Okay, first of all, is a liar. Secondly, do not by any means insult my intelligence. I may not be the smartest individual on earth, but do not insult my intelligence. I am not an idiot. So, what I'm going to do with this is I am going, now remember that those 30 days that they had to respond for verification and validation and all of that or whatever, and they said that crap with the computer generated, statements in it that anybody can go on the internet and get if they want it. Okay. So, this is my letter. I'm going to read it so that you can understand it. This is the letter that I sent to this law firm slash collection agency for my client. And it has up in the right, left hand corner, it has, to the firm, okay, or slash collection agency. It has the person's name. It has the reason, and the reason is notice of failure to validate debt. Okay, now, blah blah blah. So on this date, I sent you written notice that I disputed the above referenced debt and requested validation of the debt in accordance with the provisions of the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. In response, you have provided only computer-generated reports or transactions which may not be accurate. You have not provided a signed contract showing my liability by corresponding my social security number with my signature. Therefore, I am resending a copy of the original notice of dispute. Please be aware that due to your failure to validate the alleged debt, it is uncollectible, and all collection activity must cease immediately. In addition, your firm should report to the credit bureaus that I am not liable for the debt, and any information on my credit report relating to this debt should be removed in a timely manner. It goes on to say, please note that any continued collection activity or negative credit reporting in relation to this debt will result in my filing a lawsuit against your firm for violation of the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act and Fair Credit Reporting Act. Your prompt attention in this matter is appreciated. Sincerely. And then you're just going to, again, print your name. Do not signaturize this. And that is what's going to be sent out. So, once that's sent out, and you're also going to send that by certified mail, return request with return request. So you want the little green card back. And if you don't get the little green card back, you can just go ahead and go on the post office website or whatever, and you'll be able to track your package and see where it goes, and then it'll show where they delivered it, when they delivered it, and all that, and you can just print it off from there. But 9 times out of 10, the card will come back to you. But I know how mail is. Sometimes it takes some time. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to take a copy. In his case, he's going to take another copy of this. Well, I'll take another copy of this up to the courts. I'm going to file, make sure I get it stamped. And they're going to make sure that the other party gets a copy. But still, I still want to make sure. So I'm going to do my part too with serving them a copy of this. Okay. And we'll get, now with this particular thing, he didn't need a thing that was called a proof of service or whatever. And the reason being is because they filed the claim against him. Okay. So it's not like, okay, well, you filed a claim and you need to show a proof of service or whatever. The court case, it already has a docket number, and everything. And it's them filing suit against him, not him filing suit against them. So, okay, now if it goes back, now after they receive this, and you know that they've received this, if they come after him again, so basically what this did is it stopped the court case. Because like I said, the court case is not until May, sometime in May. It stopped everything. And usually I like to give them about a 15-day time frame or whatever. I'm generous. 15-day time frame. Then I'll go back and we'll check my client's credit report and all of that and make sure that it's off their credit report or whatever. Or they'll call me and say, well, look, they're bothering me. And then I'll go ahead, because they got just one time to try to initiate collection again. And then that's when we're going to go ahead and file suit. And if we file suit, 9 times out of 10, we are going to win due to the simple fact is what they're doing is illegal. And wouldn't you rather have the credit company paying you money, the collections agency paying you money, instead of you paying them? I know I would. Okay, so I think I pretty much summed that up. I will be doing another video in regards to some other things that I'd like to discuss with you all. I'm going on 30 minutes right now. 30 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to finish having my coffee and things. I have a lot of work to do today. My office hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And for those clients that are, using me right now, thank you. And I greatly appreciate your business. And you all know the business hours. So anytime if you try to reach me after 6 p.m., 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to answer. So just leave me a message and I'll get back with you the following business day. I thank you and you all have a fabulous day.